Hello everybody, welcome back to the Jank Zone. Jank is on the stack and it resolves. Just make it. It is time for Ghost, and the Ghost has come up with a stupid idea this week. Well, I say this week, it's not really a weekly thing. Never mind, don't worry about it. Anyway, this might be my magnum opus, Jankum opus, Jank. Boots go jingle jangle. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's a lovely warm day, and I figured I've been testing this a lot, and it doesn't work, but it's okay, because it does work sometimes. When it does work, it's quite funny. Especially against certain types of hate decks, which this is completely unaffected by. Anyway, what we have here is, you might notice a pattern here. It is a commander deck which uses exclusively creatures and nothing else. This isn't a no lands deck, or a no sorcerer. This is a only creatures. And this was a true creatures only deck. Because it doesn't run any lands. And this was really hard to make. And it's probably going to be refined. Any suggestions would be great of other things I could free cast. Would be fantastic, thanks. But we're going to start from lowest CMC to highest CMC, and I'm going to explain on the way. So for starters, we are running basically every single kobold, because they are 0 cost. We would have had Rugrach as our commander, but honestly, he's not really good in this deck, because he hands himself more to sort of a Voltron style deck, because he has like 3 keywords. And also our, partner is a thing. There's probably some interesting tech with Rugrach I don't know about either. But it's just that they are 0 cost, which means that even if we have no mana, we can put them into play. Same kind of thing with Endless One and Ugin's Conjurant, is you can technically put them into play for 0. Technically, even though they will die. But if you have if you have an Anthem effect in play, or if there's an Anthem effect in play in general, like, say, Coat of Arms, you can kind of take advantage, cast for 0 to get a free creature on board. Trilobite is kind of the same principle, but on steroids, because it also is a mana rock, kind of. Air quotes, kind of. It's a creature that has storage counters, and those storage counters are +1/+1. Next we have the 1 cost, so here we have Basking Rootwalla, and where's the other fucking one? And Blazing Rootwalla. The reason why we have both of these is because 8 Walla strategy. This is actually what caused me to start coming up with the idea for this deck in the first place, because madness is funny, and and 8 Walla is a weird thing in Modern, and I wanted to go, okay, what else can I free cast? Let's do Birds, because it's the best 1 mana drop mana dork. Blister Pod is kind of a mana dork, kind of, air quotes, very loose air quotes. Squeaky horn noises. Bloodhole Ooze is just value. Yes, we will never control a black permanent, or almost never control black permanent. Pretty much never. But it does get bigger if we have green permanents, which we do. And it's one of the few sort of easy castings in red that I could find. Next is Burial Druid. Burial Druid is one of the worst mana dorks, but at least it's a mana dork, for 1. Copperhorn Scout kind of does interesting things in this deck, in combos with other things, but ergo, you swing with it, even if it dies, you hopefully untap at least a couple of your mana dorks. Elvish Handservant is just a meme in this. We have a couple of giants, which kind of make this bigger. This is one of those that would get phased out by something better. I just thought, hey, there's a few giants in this. It would be funny to add this in. It's probably bad. There's probably better things to put in here. Like, a lot, but I just want to put it anyway. With Elvish Mystic, it's just the green, it's a good mana dork as green. Most of the deck is green. Essence Warden helps us stabilize, and is an elf. Feral Hydra is a lad, and What? You see, you put it into play for 0 or 1, and just get your opponents to put counters on it. You just meme that into existence. Like, hey, really funny to put a +1/+1 counter on this. It's super funny. Or, you know, like, embrace the whole thing of, I'm not the threat, but that guy is. You know, you could totally put a bunch of +1s on this guy with your leftover mana that you're not holding for anything else. You know, put some +1s on the Feral Hydrogen. I'll go swinging at them. You know? Flamekin, Firebringer. Search elementals, which kind of is useful sometimes. But this may also be phased out. We don't run that many elementals, but the elementals we do run are pretty useful. Finnhorn Elves. Hey, look, it's Llanowar Elves, but not. Gilded Goose. Okay, I put it in mostly because it's Goose, and it is technically a mana dork, kind of. Which can also sort of help you stabilize, but not really, but kind of. Anyway, we have Glistener Elf, just a 1/1 with Infect. Decent card, can blow things up, possibly, maybe. Goblin Banner does Mentor, which can make things bigger, though it will probably die most of the time anyway, so... Hex Drinker, it'd do a drink, and it's just really good. Impulsive Pilferer kind of is a mana dork. It creates a treasure token when it dies, and you can also encore it later. It's kind of a mana filter, so if we get Simian Spirit Guide, which we're going to later, and we can cast this, let it die, get something that might help us cast a green mana dork, or birds, preferably. We have Juraga Tree Speaker, which is like one of the best cards in the deck. It's a mana dork, kind of. You can't. It's not something you can cast like early game. You have to wait until you have a mana dork in play, or two rather. You want to get it leveled up at least once, because it's a mana. It's a mana dork that gives you 2. Or if you get it level 5, just every elf becomes a mana dork. It also improves your other mana dorks. Anyway, we have Jungle Delver, it's a Merfolk, you can put +1/+1 counters on it, pretty much the same reason in here, because it's a way of making it get big. Then we have Llanowar Elves, hey look, it's the trifecta of not elves, of elves that do the same thing. Minion the Mighty, again, might be eventually chuck it out, but we were running pretty much every kobold anyway, so I wanted to put it in, because haha, funny kobold thing. And it can cheat things into play, but they have to be dragons. Maybe there'll be a better strat with this later on, with certain upgrades to the deck, but I don't know yet. But I want to make this guy work. But maybe he's a remove. We have Moss Viper, it's a snack, has Death Touch, it's also adorable. Nanam Renegade is also a Death Toucher, which is actually really good, it's the 1/2, but also it could become bigger if something left battlefield this turn. Protein Hydra is like really good, but don't forget how it works, since it gets doubled, it gets bigger at the end step, so don't let it die before it gets bigger, you know. Don't overswing, like I did, and think, oh yeah, the thing changes immediately, right? It changes immediately. It gets extra +1/+1 counters immediately, right? They don't get removed. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. Utopia Micron is technically a mana rock in a weird way, kind of, sort of, but not really. It creates saplings, and you can sack saplings to add mana. So it's kind of a mana rock, so... Because there's only like 5, there's not that many mana rocks in the deck, mana dorks in the deck, that you kind of have to run stuff like this to have a delayed mana dork. You'll see this in playtesting, it makes sense later. Beastclaw Savant is one of our 2 mana dorks, because essentially, we're trying to run as many mana dorks as we would otherwise run lands, because they're basically our lands. So, he's a conditional one, because you can only cast a creature spell with him, not use an ability. But every card on the deck is a creature, so it's fine, right? Most of the time. Bloom Tender can add 2 mana. Technically you can add sort of red and green mana, which is also another reason why we run the kobolds. To put that online. We run Dockside, even though it's expensive, because Dockside gives us value. and can potentially turn the game around for us. Druid of the Cowl is just a worse Elvish Mystic, but we have to run it anyway. Charisade is just like Elvish Mystic, but on steroids if you make them bigger, and you will make them bigger. Iliasin Catalid just says hi. It cares about things being big, which gives you extra mana, otherwise it's just a slightly worse birds. Paradise Druid is a worse bird, at least it has hexproof sometimes. It's also an elf, which matters. Prince of Titania is just the elf to end all elves. Elves. It can make many mana, potentially. Werebear, it's a mana dork. It's also 3 creature types, which is quite astonishing. Also wasn't in any of the D&D sets, to my knowledge, which is weird, considering werebears are actually a thing in the D&D verse. But okay, sure. It can also be a 4/4, which is nice, which kind of makes up for the fact that it's otherwise terrible. And then Zertar Druid, which deals damage, also. And then the CMC3, we have the Spirit Guides, because mana, we need mana to start off with, because none of our mana rocks cost 0. Although maybe there is a way of making our mana rocks cost 0. Sorry, mana dorks cost 0. I don't know. Maybe there's an easy way of doing this. And then with Omnath, because Omnath can make us not empty out green mana, which sometimes is good, and also Omnath gets big sometimes. Since before we have Beast Whisperer to give us more draw. Living Totem because it has Convoke. There's a few things in here with Convoke, okay? Convoke is kind of important for this deck. Vengevine can be cast from the graveyard, or rather returned from the graveyard to play if it's in the graveyard. So you mill it or discard it from your hand if you have too many cards in there, which happens a lot sometimes. And then you bring it back later by casting a couple of kobolds or something. Or if your X costs 0 cards for 0, because even though they die, you still get a Vengevine. Vine Drag can also free cast itself if you remove a green card instead. So it's a hey, and it otherwise costs 4. Probably also quite expensive. Oh well. We have Wolfgar of Icewind Dale. He is a good lad. Kind of looks like Crims Hensworth. Crims Hensworth! Whack! Here make ability trigger happen twice. He was at one point going to possibly be the commander, but I'm not sure. But he do a thing. He do a thing. We also have Aggressive Mammoth. He's an angry boy. He make everything have to trample. He's good. Bane of Progress blows up all of our enchantments, which completely doesn't affect us at all, because hey, we're just running just creatures. It's basically one of the few board wipes we're able to run, pretty much, because, yeah. Brood Monitor, which creates Scions, which, again, if we can get this guy into play for nothing, it might be better, but also kind of pays for itself, sort of. We have Carnivorous Moss Beast, purely because we can make it bigger. Deathless Behemoth can be sort of recycled by Brood Monitor, kind of, but not, like, fully recycled. Then we have Dragonlair Spider, which gives us value when our opponent casts spells. Dirkwood Behemoth has Suspend, which is why it's here. Again, it's like an early game thing. If we can at least get out a 5/5. The fact that Suspend 5 isn't so bad in Commander, so Italy can free cast things. Italy is good. Hostility recycles itself if it's discarded or put into the graveyard from anywhere. That's pretty much it. You can also put things into play. It gives us extra value. Kodama helps us also put things into play. To be fair, we could Kodama and, he's also one of the alternate commanders in the deck alongside Rograt. We could run this and Rograt at the same time, because they both have partner. But, yeah, it puts extra things into play. Lethis just creates dragons. There's actually not that many dragons in the deck. There are a couple, and she's one of the targets for our minion, the Mighty. Nemata creates saplings, also can make saplings big, which matters with the previous card we mentioned before. Okay, you're paying 3 mana to put a 1 mana into a creature in a play that can be sacked for 1 mana, but it's like if you have leftover mana, you can basically make treasure tokens with this. Effectively. You're effectively making them into treasure tokens. Oblivion Sower, ironically, is like the only way we can get lands in this deck by stealing our opponents. So we can exile a bunch of things from the opponent's graveyard or whatnot, or from play. You can actually get lands that way, as weird as that sounds. Then we have Payoff. Another blah blah blah. Yeah, we can add stuff from the the hand. Actually kind of important, as we can do some weird strategies with this. Ebex makes other things big, which helps when we want to attack with things like our Untapped Boy, but also the Minion Mighty, so they don't die. Primordial Sage draws us things, much like Beast Whisperer does. A Rapacious one gives us Eldrazi Scions, which can help pay for other costs of things. Hurricane Ally has Convoke. Roughshod Mentor gives green creatures trample, so it's a lesser aggressive mammoth. Rurik Tar punishes people for playing non-creature spells, which doesn't affect us at all because we don't play non-creatures. Sakiko, Mother of Summer, just gives us extra green mana, also doesn't mana burn. Savage Ventmore does a similar thing, it gives us mana, which pays for itself basically immediately. And we have Soul of Zendikar, which can create beasts. Soul of the Harvest, which again can help us draw cards. Thunderfoot Baloth gives things trample and get big. Vigor can recycle itself much like Hostility can, but also it prevents damage to things, which is just absolutely broken in a deck where you just care about creatures, because you just swing with just everything. And oh no, if your opponent blocks, like, oh, everything just suddenly gets bigger, oh no. Vornclex because he is a Giga Chad and he's best himbo, but also, he makes us gain more counters and prevents the opponents from having counters, which most of the time, since half of 1 is 0 in this case. And also makes our things double, so this helps us with like Gyro Sage, and there are other things that carry getting +1/+1s. Wolverine Riders gives us extra elves, also helps us stabilize, and also with the other guy that cares about the amount of elves, or the other guy that makes elves mana dorks. Really good card, honestly. This is elves without being elves. Allosaurus Rider can be free cast, sort of, but isn't very good because it's just a 1/1 in this deck unless we've Oblivion Sowed. But if we're Oblivion Sowing, we've probably got mana to cast this normally. It's like, you know. Arishin Warbeast can put things into play, and since our entire deck is creatures, we're always going to be able to morph them. Balefire Dragon is a sort of board wipe. It's, as long as we can harm a player, we can potentially board wipe them. Potentially, or at least kind of board wipe them. Since most things are going to have like less than 6 power and toughness, probably. But yeah, it's Flaming Volley, but to an extreme degree, but for 7, but has to attack things. Chancellor Forge can potentially get us a free Goblin. Chancellor of the Tangle can essentially get us a free mana if we start with it. So it's a free Elvish Spirit. It's an Elvish Spirit guy, technically, in the starting hand. Which is important because those 3 are basically our starters for the deck. So, yeah, only 3 cards in the deck are true starters for the deck. Yeah. We have Garrick's Horde, can cast the top card of library and play it and whatnot. If it's a creature. Guess what? Our entire deck's creatures. Hamlet-back Goliath. Hey, look, it's an actual giant. I'm fairly sure this isn't the only giant, but it might be, and I might be a dumbass for playing the other thing. But it makes itself very, 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 very big. Like, very, very big. And can be our endgame bomb. Hate Flare, it has semi-infect and can also hit creatures that potentially are threats. It's essentially a it's essentially a, a removal spell, kind of. Again, there are probably better removement spells than it. We have Clouth, Unrivaled Ancient. It adds mana. It do a mana thing. It can do a lot of thing, and also doesn't mana burn like the other ones. Mossbridge Trolls just can't be blown up, pretty much. It has pseudo-indestructible, and can also be an endgame bomb. With Old Gnawbone, which means that everything just creates a bunch of treasure, as long as it damages a player. Protein Hulk, if it dies, we get a bunch of value, because especially since we can then also manipulate all of our zero-cost stuff that we have. Just Rock Shard Elemental has Morph, which means we can kind of put it into play semi-cheaply, or at least more on curve. Plus, it's a double strike 4/3, which is just hilarious to me. I'm not sure which the strongest double striker is, but this might be up there. We have Siege Worm, who is a big Convoke lad, and has Trample. And we have Godzilla, aka Yadaro, who I actually pulled the other day. Well, it would have been in the video you guys have already seen. He is a good turtle. He cycles, and when you cycle him a bunch of times, you put him into play. So pretty good. Also, a good way of getting card draw, weirdly enough, to thin out the deck a bit. I say thin out the deck a bit, kind of thin out the deck a bit. Kind of? Not really? I've never actually gotten him off before, but yeah, and then we get into the really big stuff. So we have another Convoke boy, who can be searched, by the way. We have another Convoke boy who's also indestructible. This is the strongest creature in the game, I think. And another Convoke boy, kind of. You can cast him for basically 1 if you are able to do so. If you actually have the mana to actually cast him. If your opponent controls a bunch of creatures. Which, hey, in a multiplayer commander game is really easy. And also makes things bigger. And then we have a commander, Radha Heretic Kel, who is a mana dork. Perhaps the only legendary mana dork that I know of, or at least one that's in red-green. Also can add 2 red, but kind of is bad because it does have mana burn, or rather, does have mana fading, technically, since it doesn't have like the others have. So it means you've got to use that 2 red in the battle phase, or battle step, or whatever. Anyway, that is the deck. Let us be to the showing that how this works. Wow, words. Word salad, turns out. So we're going to go Freeform Commander, because I'm not sure if this is actually legal. Pretty sure it is, but I don't know. Freeform Commander to play a duel. We're going to swap over from Tend to Proliferate, which I might not have shown yet, but we'll show that probably in time, to our, Creatures Only. Ender, and Mad, and, Comp Green-White Commander. Let's generate this. We're also having a bunch of free mulligans, pretty much just for this deck, just so that we can actually have a hand that is usable. Obviously, in a real game, you'd have like 1
Your
free
game
mulligan.
has started.
But this set is kind of more than that, at least to show it off. Why did that happen? Okay, we may have to... Okay, so, hold up 1 second. This is fine. So we have an Elvish Spirit Guide, Blister Pod, which doesn't really help. So yeah, this hand is pretty bad. Even though we have Elvish Spirit Guide, we don't have any mana dorks that we can actually cast for colored mana. Here we have a free casty boy, technically dockside, but nothing else we really need cast. We do have the spirit guide, but we can't really cast anything useful off of it. So we have to mull that down. See, this is a problem, but it's also a funny problem to have. We have a mana dork, but no way to cast it. We have a mana dork again, but no way to cast it. Typical. We have nothing we can cast here, so we have to go down to 6. No way of getting our start, so we have to mull it down. The best combo is something like Birds of Paradise and Chancellor, honestly. But we haven't seen Chancellor at all yet. Just mull down the big stuff and the dockside. Yep, we can't do anything with that. So we have Chancellor, we have Handsome, which doesn't help us. Fuck. We have Bloom Tender, which really doesn't help us. We have to mull this hand as well, even though it's Chancellor, which is really annoying. We have Micron, and we basically have to concede straight off the hand up there.
Your
We
game
didn't get
has
anything
started.
that was useful in, like, 7 hands. But then sometimes you get this, and it's like, oh, okay, Chancellor. It's like an almost good hand. We have Spirit Guide. Okay, this is a keep. We have Spirit Guide and we have Birds. We can keep this. So, we cast Birds off of Spirit Guide, which is perhaps the worst use of Spirit Guide ever to be seen in a game of Magic. Like, Spirit Guide and stuff is supposed to be used for, like, big, ridiculous combos in Vintage, not this shit. But it's fine! It's absolutely fine. And we can't cast anything. Oh boy. Now we have to wait for the next 1 mana card, I guess. But this is still way better than anything else we could have done at the moment. We have to pass again. Let the opponent do things. We have to pass again because we're only getting really high mana cards. So we will discard the Rough Shot. We have other things in there. We don't really need Trampoly Boys. It's nice to have them. We will cast you for 1. Even though it does feel bad, man. But would otherwise have to discard a card, and we want value right now. And we're gonna have to do the same with Endless One. What the fuck? Has this deck been shuffled? I feel like no is the answer. Okay, we have an Essence Warden, which is not a too bad draw off this. At least we're actually able to cast things. If we do get our 4-cost Convoke, we'll actually be able to play that at least. We are going to start taking shitloads of commander damage, which is going to feel really bad, man. What don't we need right now? I guess we don't need Primordial Stage really that badly. It's nice to have extra draws because you can kind of go into it potentially, but also no. So we take some commander damage and feel bad about ourselves. We draw into Hostility. We have to discard it when it gets shuffled back in. We take 2 more commander damage. We feel really bad about ourselves again. We draw another card we can't cast. This is a theme. In an actual commander game, we'd be dead by now, probably. They cast Thalia, which actually doesn't affect us at all, which is very funny. Except the fact that's first strike, which is really fucking annoying, turns out. The Siege Worm, can't cast it. We're going to have to discard something again. We're going to discard Kodama. We're going to discard Obama. Another 2 commander damage. And a bunch of, and 3 more damage, no. 2 more damage? We have Protein Hydra. We're going to cast it for 1, which will immediately kill it. Wait, oh no, we're going to cast it for 0, sorry. We're going to cast it for 0. It will immediately kill itself, but oh fucking well. We get an Essence Warden drop off it at least. Which is better than just having to discard it. We take more commander damage, because we can't put anything to fucking play right now. We draw a Snake Woman. We discard her because she's not useful. Okay, they put in play Tending Contract, which I kind of put in here just so this deck would kind of work a bit better. Sue me. Sometimes you have interaction with your opponent, which does things. Okay. We have Fiendhorn Elves, finally, so this kind of is moot now. Not really moot, but moot enough. This just makes... I put them as a meme, okay? Don't judge me. Anyway, we'll create some treasure. Opponent also create treasure. It really doesn't fucking matter. We'll take a bunch of damage. We really want to get rid of this guy, though. Because, that is sus. Okay, we're on the draw. Morph you. Can't really convoke you. We could put in play a Paradise Drill or Bloom Tendon. We pass the turn and probably take even more damage, but yeah. Vigilance. Okay. We're gonna take more bonks, but that's okay. I could totally just block fucking that guy now to stop him getting fucking bolstered, but oh well. I think we cast our commander to get some red. That gives us that. And then we will bloom. And then Jungle Delver just to potentially maybe not get fucked over by the commander damage. Yep, more treasure plays. I'm dying over here. We're being extorted. It's the opposite of what we want. Oh, they tap the commander. Thank fuck for that. They do that sometimes. They just tap it to protect something for no reason. I'm not sure what they're protecting because I can't see the change wall because I decided to put it to one side. Anyway. I feel like we get rid of the bolstery boys now. We don't want you bolstering everything every fucking turn. I will sack my 2 creatures for that. We're gonna try and stabilize by casting this guy. Which gives us some things we can do with elves, and may also be able to protect some fucking Thalia. We make an elf, we gain 2 life, because that's an one, it's just a G. The commander tries to smack us, we block the commander, because we're stupid, and don't understand they will attack, even if they could be blocked if their toughness is higher. But, castle only works if your creatures are untapped, so, by commander, I guess. I mean, you can recast it, but sure. And give you the free 1 life. We make another boy, which gives another 2 life. Again, this is not a good deck, and we should be dead by now if this deck was any kind of reasonable. I feel like I want to cast Nimata next, because we might want to try and create some tokens so we can convoke things easier. Oh, I should have just used them, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, that's the problem, is that we can't actually cast it, because one of the things we'd have to tap down is that. 5, 6. We could, I think maybe we can cast this, though? Let's see. just about. It gives us a big protective lab at 5/5. We passed, we create a Wolverine, Rider, Elf Warrior. Good job that's not a creature type, because that'd be like 4 creature types, that'd be weird. Imagine having 4 creature types. Next door. What are you doing? +1/+3 and heavy. And you're casting on a Wall of Wood, which we really don't care about anyway. Okay, it's fine. AI is stupid, which is good, because I'm stupid. But most of playing this deck. We have Wolfgar who do a thing. Works well with Rapacious, mostly. And also Gnawbone. Well, not really Gnawbone, because it's about attacking. But we will now potentially try and cast you. They tap the commander, protecting something from something. Just gonna test and see whether we can convoke these. Can convoke, please. I think I can. We'll also tap down Old Gnawbone because it's summoning sickness anyway, so we might as well. Oh shit, I think I just accidentally tapped down the creature I wanted to fucking... Yeah, I tapped down the 5/5, although it would block anyway, probably. So we'll do a pass, no attacks, just building up a offensive, defensive line. After all, the best defense is an offense. Or a potential offense. They play a wall. We get a life. We're back up to 30. We get some more life. We get a bing. Okay, Pathbreaker is really good, but it doesn't have haste. I feel like you couldn't play anyway, though, right? So, what mana? So we have 1 mana open at the moment. We can't really do anything else. So they have a 5/10, 6/6. So a lot of things that could block Siege Room annoyingly. Actually, no, that's flying. It's first strike. It's flying. That has reach, and you could block this as well. So that could block it. That could block it. That could block it, and that could block it. That could block it technically as well. That could block it. That can't. That can't. That can't. That can block it. That can't block it. That can't block it. So a lot of things can block Gnawbone, so I can't just throw in a flyer. Jeez. Okay, I guess we passed. We can't really do anything meaningful this turn. If we get the thing that makes either it makes mana dorks, elves into mana dorks, or the one that cares about elves to add mana, then we're just in the money. But at the moment, we're not. Wall of Shards. Wall of Shards gives us life, so I don't mind that at all. Again, I put that in as a meme. To kind of help simulate the idea of in a multiplayer commander game having the option to the option at least of player interaction that's not necessarily bad for you. Right, Bird bursts stick together, we make a goose. We're gonna start +1/+1ing this guy as well. And, yeah, we do that again. Why can't I do that again? I literally... Oh, that's food token. Right, it's a food token. That's not a mana. Okay, so to use the rest of our mana then, we will sack the treasures. Create a fucking sapperling. At least do something. Which also gives us life. How many creatures have we in play? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. We have a lot. But do we have enough ones we throw at them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not really. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, hang a minute. Yeah, we could actually just swing... Actually, no, we will attack. Because we can swing with a bunch of things, right? We can swing with that, which will give everything 7 power. Right? Everything gets 7 power and 7 toughness. Which means basically nothing can kill them. We will eat our warriors. And our big trampy boy as well. They don't normally block anyway if a creature could do stuff. If a creature could kill their creature, they generally won't block it. We need you. I don't want to take a risk with you. That will do. Now, will we get a whole bunch of green mana? I mean, technically, it might even kill our opponent. Yep, opponent's dead. Okay.
Your game has...
Sometimes it just do be like that, and you don't get the mana you wanted, but you do get to win, I guess. So, we have 2 things we can cast, but we don't have anything to cast them with. We do have a Seer cost, it's not helpful. We do have a Chancellor. We don't have any fucking thing else to cast off of it, so great. Lana War, we have a Chancellor, but not the Chancellor we need. Obviously, that's the kind of thing if you have an Elvish or the other Chancellor kind of works, but at the moment, no. Nope, can't do anything with that. Can we do anything with this? Can we? No. Can't really do anything with this. Nope, can't do anything with that. I have mulled down a usable hand before, which is pretty bad. Sake. And chances are I'm gonna lose the match because I can't fucking do things again. We'll keep his hand and hopefully draw into Spirit Guide then or something we can do. Because otherwise if we just concede, we'll just straight up lose the match, theoretically. So, here's to a game of not being able to do anything for like 8 turns. Or probably at all. There's still a chance that we could completely not be able to do anything. Okay, we actually doing a Spirit Guide. But we have Boreal Totem, which we can't actually do anything with. Boreal Totem gives us a colorless, to be fair. So it's not good. The Primal Protector, which I could cast off of Spirit Guide potentially if I absolutely have to, which could technically win the game by itself. Char Sage kind of is good, but also we can't do anything with it. The Twin Blade Commander, which means commander damage, is a clock for us, but we play a Kobold, which is kind of useful. Not really, but kind of useful. As we will probably block just the first 2 bits of commander damage. Yeah. Because it could get stronger later, but it could also become unblockable later, so sure. We will get rid of you. Druid of the get Druid of the Cowl draw off that. We're gonna Allosaurus Rider for definite. We will get rid of you, and we will get rid of Druid of the Cowl. Even though you're a mana rock, we need stuff in play right now. To be fair, I probably should have not attacked with the thing, and just kept it up for a living totem, but... I'm stupid, okay? We'll just let the command damage go through for now. Moss Viper doesn't help us at all. We will get rid of the thruster. Okay, they put into play Tempting Contract, which means that I can kind of do things now. So Allosaurus Rider can be sacrificed to the Void. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We're going to Moss Viper then, off of Spirit Guide, in this instance. Just to potentially kill the commander, to force them to do something, to cast it later. Just get it out of my hair, kind of thing. Oh, they cap it to do something else. Okay, fine. Okay. We will Boreal Druid then. Yes, I'll take the temptation. Give me Orts of Mana, Daddy, please. Give me my Ortsovian allowance. We can Impulsive Pilferer. No, we will start the Gyre Sage combo actually. The Gyre Sage and this is just chef's kiss. Next time we can technically cast off Living Totem, which will trigger thingy. Okay. Oh, I'm being tapped down off Wall of Faith. Great. They're actually tapping down the card that I actually kind of need them not to tap down. Which means we take more commander damage, but they've only done 4, so it's not that bad. So... Impulsive Pilferer's a 1-1. You're a 1-1. You're a 1-1. What do you cost at the moment? 1. So, we're gonna Werebear. Doesn't really do anything for us at the moment, really, except be a Mana Rock. But it's still better than fucking nothing. Because we could have Premium Protector, but we kinda wanna... We kinda wanna save it for later. Gyre Sage. Anyway, we temporarily got rid of the commander, made it cost more, which is good, and prevented 2 damage. So we could Jadar, we could... We're gonna Beast Color Sedan. Fuck it, we might as fucking well. Because otherwise we're really getting commander bonked. Feels bad that I have to do it this way around, because I had to sack my thing to prevent fucking commander damage and yeet it off for a second. Otherwise with a Living Totem first. But I need my Evolve to start working. But I can Convoke off of Primeval. Primeval does give it a +1 counter anyway, so there's that. The Living Totem, I think, gives another +1 counter? Yes. So we'll put it on Gyre Sage. Just to get it even higher up. Because generally our stuff is either really low power and toughness or really high power and toughness. So getting it through the mid stages is kind of not easy. Also, I should finally be able to properly cast my command, which I haven't done yet, I'm a stupid idiot. Okay, the Ramparts. Make them indestructible or something. What does it do? Where is it even? The fuck? Oh, there it is. Oh, tap target creature, okay. And they tapped a creature. Wait, they didn't even tap anything. What? Did they tap itself? I'm confused. Anyway, wait, and remember power and toughness is the thing. Here, 2, 3. Okay, we will, cast commander. They tap their commander. There's basically no reason. I'm going to cycle the Yadaro, I think. Why did you just give me a bunch of green when it's 1 and 1 red? Stop giving me... Oh, no, it's for each... Fuck. Okay, I still have to sack the treasure then. It's like, I thought it was one of any color. I guess I'll have to fucking tap them then. I didn't really want to tap them. Wait. What? Oh, did I accidentally fucking cast the wrong thing? Oh my god, I accidentally cast the wrong fucking thing. Fuck's sake. I wanted to fucking cycle that soldier boy, not fucking... Now, I could attack with this and probably start getting the damage down, but I kind of want to keep it as my main blocker at the moment until I have another blocker. Yep. Yeah, taps him down. If they're not, for some reason, they're gonna make this thing bigger and slow the game down. I fucking hate Wall of Fate. You're stupid. At least they're, like, wasting their treasure, I guess. Oh, we do have a Spirit Guide, which is kind of, like, pointless at the moment, so we're gonna Spirit Guide off of Impulsive Fuel, which is another starter as well. So we have that. We're finally going to fucking cycle Yadara. We could have cast him normally, but... Well, no. And again... Oh, to cast creature spells. My apologies. I don't fucking give a shit. We cycle. We get a Copperhorn Scout, which does do a good for us. Kind of, sort of, maybe. So we're going to Beast Whisperer first. To maybe get a free draw off of this. Should have probably tapped that. In a free draw, they tap their commander for some reason. We will play the Trilobite for 1 then. Even though we could have cast it for more later to get this guy bigger. But we can't really afford to, honestly. So, we do that, and we can kind of pass turn then. Give me treasure. I need treasure. In my body. Feed me. They tap the Copperhorn, which is kind of ironic. But only kind of. There was a Bob. Going to play the big Savage Dragon. Probably could have just done that, it's the actual creature casting cost. But it doesn't really matter because that would be Gyro Sage an extra mana anyway. Then we're gonna go birds. Fiend Horn. Do we have any abilities that cost mana to do? Other than... Wait, hang on, do I have actually abilities to do this with? No. It's only Impulsive Purifier, so that ability at the moment to remove to add 2 doesn't really help at the moment. I don't think. So we'll cast Talon Servant as well, just to get the extra free draw card. And we will swing with these 2. And Primeval, why not? Because it will untap anyway. We sacrifice the Copperhorn boy. to get a bunch of value. Then we're going to put a +1/+1 on this guy. In future things, we can just literally remove one to add one an additional mana to activate abilities with, which is kind of funny. Now we can summon the big Payoff. And we have Vigor, which Vigor is really good for us. So that's Pog and Good and Pog. Now we pass. We accept the contract. Because we're a good little builder. We're a good little subby builder, ooh woo. They rampart something, so they don't, for some reason again. It's fine. Maybe they're tapping something that's already tapped. On my side, for example. They want to make their wall bigger, which really doesn't do anything. And also sack treasure to do so, so it's fine. Okay, we're definitely docksiding right now. Dockside is just haha funny. We draw a fuckload of treasure. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 treasure. And then, we land our elves. That will also make Janktastic slightly bigger as well. We can now also start returning things, so we can totally return, but what we're going to want to do is return things like Rapacious first, since we could possibly cast them. Now we cast a minion, because minion can totally bring out Lapis later, and Balefire. Then we'll cast Rapacious. How big are you? You're 5'4", so we'll just tap you. Make big. Payoff, and then return something else. So we will grab Thrasta, since we could possibly cast Thrasta for 2. Can we cast a bunch of stuff this turn? Yep. 2 cost boy. 2 cost boy. Gives another draw. That's the thing. And Janktastic also gets bigger. We also pay off something else. So we'll pay off from some kobolds. Hex Drinker is better than doing Trilobite. We will kobolds. See what I mean about the draw spell being fucking ridiculous in this? Then we can convoke something, so we will convoke our stuff that is summoning sick anyway and can't otherwise tap. I should really be running the things, the one that gives everything haste when it's in the graveyard, but I think that's as long as you call a mountain. There might be other things that give everything haste as well, I don't know. That should be in red anyway. Rukin Ally also, talking of that, also helps with our Withery Boy, to tap it without it getting hurt. Anyway, since we have our boy in play, we can tap with Thrasta, we can tap with you, tap with you, and you. And you, actually, because you really want to get those extra +1 counters, actually. And you, which will also give things, and it also gives extra mana. And you, wait, do we have Figure in play? Wait, do we actually have Figure in play? Fuck, yeah we do. Let's fucking say. We can maybe risk Payoff getting bonked then, since... I mean, you know, you wouldn't do this normally, because if everyone just bonks Vigor, then yeah, everything fucking dies, basically. Haha, funny. But, we will pass and everything will remain because, yep. basically everything gets blocked by the looks of things. Except not you, weirdly enough. Huh, I guess you... Wait, why don't you block it with... Never fucking mind. Most of your blockers are quite low power, toughness, I guess. The opponent is at 5 life. Everything is big. Which means we can... we have 6 mana, so we'll cast Wolfgar. And then Blister Pod. Even though Blister Pod kind of is bad at the moment because it won't probably die. Stuff. Then we're going to have Siege Worm. Off of the Convoke. Wait, huh? I thought we could convoke this. It's coming up as something I can convoke cast. What? Maybe I can cast that then. Huh? Oh, because of that. Even though that's only to cast abilities. It's only to cast abilities, fucking stupid game. They tap down the kobolds, we really don't care. They're going to do this shit again with Wall of Faith. I wish I could just fucking blow it up, honestly. You're at 7 power, okay. So we cast something for 8, we might be able to do something. This sort of has 8 power and toughness. Not that we have anything against that. We may want a Vorinclex now, though. We'll add the Scout. This is where, like, drawing cards just becomes ridiculous. Then kind of becomes impossible for us to empty our hand. Which does activate stuff like Wallop, but then because we cast it, we draw a card, which means we have to discard the next card on top of that. Thank you. What else can we cast? We'll cast another one, Costy Boy. Just casting all the cheap stuff, basically. We will cast you. Oh, we're definitely need to cast the Prince then. Priest. We'll cast Ugin's Conjurant for 1. We'll activate your ability. And swing out with everything that isn't bigger. Oh look! Because of Wolfgar, abilities go off twice, which means we get to put into play 2 dragons. Which doesn't count as casting them, which means we can kind of empty our hand. We also just get a bunch of fucking mana. So we will put into play Lapis, who is also attacking. Which also lets us grab Moss Viper, because it's ETB rather than being casted. Fuck, we still can't empty our hand, holy shit! And then we Balefire Dragon on top of that. Which also lattices us, which gives another fucking dragon. Means we now have an empty-ass graveyard, which is funny. I think the opponent is very dead here as well. They're very dead. Yeah, 55 minus. Holy shit. That's how the deck works. Could it be better? Probably. Let's go back to the deck editor. I recommend below what could be done to improve this deck. What should be taken out? What should be added in? There's some obvious choices here to be taken out. Like, hostility doesn't do a lot. Things like that. The other draws didn't really do a huge amount. But, thank you guys for watching. Give comments, subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next sort of Janktastic deck video. Sorry this one was such a long one. This deck kind of is pretty slow, so it's difficult to do a match with it. Anyway, thank you guys. Bye-bye for now. Honk honk and goes.